Welcome back to the final session of today's conference. I hope you have enjoyed the previous sessions so far. This session is titled Smart Corridors, Global Connections, Rocking the Future of Green and Intelligent Mobility. May I now invite Mr. Collin Chen, Director of Engineering, Airport Authority Hong Kong, to give his presentation. Mr. Chen, please.
Hello, everybody. I'm an engineer. I hope I won't let you sleep because talking all technical things. I try not to present like an engineer in the coming presentation. Okay, today I'd like to present the Hong Kong International Airport, how to use multimodal connectivity to enhance the passenger experience and how to make use of a smart mobility at the Hong Kong International Airport. Third one-way system. Many of you may have known we recently we expand our existing two one-way system into new three one-way system. With this expansion, Hong Kong International Airport could have a more chance of flexibility, room to improve connectivity and other enhancement of technology. With this three one-way system, we can enhance the passenger throughput at the capacity to 120 million passengers. Without this one, we can only accommodate 50 million. Now can go to 120 million. And cargo as well, we can only accommodate without that 4.5 million. Now with this three one-way system, we can go to 10 million tons cargo. So with this system, we can enhance efficiency as well as we can improve a lot of our operational efficiency and passenger experience as well. And the other important thing is Hong Kong International Airport at the very strategic location. In the coming slide, you will know how strategic we are. Within 5-hour flights, we can access to half of the world's population. I think not many airports can do that, including China, India, Indonesia. We can connect to 220 global destinations. We have 120 airlines now settled in the Hong Kong airport. As I said just now, in 2024, last year, our passenger volume, because of the COVID, we dropped down a little bit. Hopefully, in the coming month, we can achieve back to pre-COVID level. Now, passenger volume is 54 million, and cargo is 4.9 million. The other strategic location, because we are at the GBA, we are connected. We have a railway connection. We have a high-speed rail and the airport expressway. We have a ferry, Sky Pier Terminal. I will explain a little bit where is Sky Pier Terminal. Not many of you may go to there because it's only for overseas, for mainland citizens. Hong Kong people cannot go into it. I will explain a little bit later. John McGrath Bridge, right next to us. Okay. Coming slide, I will explain how to make use of a smart mobility to enhance passenger connectivity. Sky Pier Terminal, just now I said, the blue one here. Next to AWE Israel Expo, there's Terminal 1. Many of you have been here. I have to say one more thing maybe not many of you may have known. There's the Airport Island. this is the Hong Kong port. Hong Kong Airport Authority is fully owned by government, Hong Kong government. We are not civil servant, but fully owned by government. And so government in the last few years, they gave all this empty, a lot of empty space in this Hong Kong port to Airport Authority to give it to us to develop. So we have a lot of rooms to develop for future development. As well as Hong Kong government give these 2 bay. We call it small bay here, the big bay here, big airport, small airport bay, big airport bay. So we have plenty space to plan for future development. I won't discuss here, but many of you may know we have the vision to develop marina here in these 2 areas. So we have a Zhuhai-Macau Bridge, there's the red line, connecting to the Hong Kong port. We have Sky Pier Terminal. What is the function of Sky Pier Terminal? This is a restricted area. That's why not many of you may be there. People from GBA, from China, they can take a ferry to here, to this terminal. Without entering Hong Kong, they can straight away to go to our boarding gate to fly to overseas. And vice versa, they can come back from overseas and take the ferry back to GBA. This is a Sky Pier Terminal. Because of this Sky Terminal, we can develop air to sea and sea to air transfer process. So recent year, we developed, enhanced this Sky Pier Terminal to catch the passengers from GBA, because just now, this red line, I said, there's a Zhuhai-Macau Bridge, also coming to here. So with this Sky Pier and Zhuhai-Macau Bridge and the Bonded Beach, we completed last 2 years. So with the Zhuhai-Macau Bridge connecting to this Sky Pier Terminal, so we can catch the passenger from sea, from the bridge as well. So we can develop beach-to-air traffic and sea-to-air traffic. So with this terminal and the Bonded Beach and the infrastructure next to it, we can have a more cohesive approach with the GBA visitors. And the other project we are working on it, I think this idea is, I could say is quite smart, this one. Probably some of you may heard, we recently opened, in last 2 weeks, 15th of November, we opened a park and fly car park. This car park in the restricted area, in the coastal area in Hong Kong port, visitors from China, from mainland, can take their own car, drive their own car from their home, use Zhuhai-Macau Bridge, go to this airport to party here. Without entering Hong Kong, we can have a shuttle through the Bonded Bridge to Sky Pier Terminal, go to our boarding gate to overseas. So our catchment, our passenger catchment, because of that, can enhance a lot to GBA residents. The other, there's the connection to the boarding gate. This car park, we use smart technology. This is fully automated. You just drop your car at the ground floor with some registration, very simple registration. You can leave the car here and go to our boarding gate. And come back, you can have we're using facial recognition as well. Pick up your car within 3-4 minutes. Same concept we apply in another car park next to this Park and Fly car park is the Park and Visit car park. Same concept. People from mainland, from GBA, can drive their own car through Zhuhai Macau Bridge to this car park. But this time, this car park was built is being built next to passenger clearance building. So people, after dropping their car here, can walk right next to it, walk just 1-2 minutes to the passenger clearance building to enter Hong Kong. And then they take through this Airport City Link, taking our autonomous vehicle. This autonomous vehicle is a 16-seat minibus type of autonomous vehicle. We have a FE2 vehicle every minute, so people can easily no need to wait long time after dropping their car, going through immigration, then go to the Sky City station, enjoying our facility in at the airport, as well as if they want, go to other places in Hong Kong. Again, this using smart technology as well. Okay, another project I like to mention is make use of autonomous vehicle. We are building the other route, joining one of the major hub in Hong Kong is Tung Chung Station, City Gate. Some people may know. That is the public road. That's under construction now. People, after going to the car park or taking go bus here, dropping here, they can using this airport airport Tung Chung Link, we call it airport Tung Chung Link, taking our autonomous vehicle to MTR station in Tung Chung to go to any place in Hong Kong. As well, if they want, they still can, using our border bridge, go to the airport, using our facility as well. There's the view of the Airport City Link. If you remember, we have a marina to be built here. There's the future Airport Tung Chung Link, Tung Chung Station here. Okay, talking about passenger. Cargo is also important. Somebody may know our cargo throughput still world #1 this year. Since last 12 years, we're still #1. But we have to keep this performance, otherwise we'll be overtaken by other places. So we have the other project. That is the Dongguan in mainland, Dongguan. We are building a logistic park in Dongguan. There's a big logistic park. What's the concept for this park? Is we try to enlarge our cargo catchment. Without this logistic park, all those cargo will be taken by truck from mainland to Hong Kong port. People have to dismantle the truck and pack it up and go to the freighter and go overseas. But with this logistic park, all the process could be done in mainland, in Dongguan here. And using vessel, using ship to take it to Hong Kong. Again, this cargo, without entering Hong Kong, they can straight away go to our aircraft. All these processes take only 4 hours. The traveling time, including the packing time, probably around 6 hours. And every ship can accommodate 36 containers. Every container can accommodate 4. We call it the tailor-made the container for air traffic. So those containers are special made. So there is the sea air intermodal transportation. This is the pier in the Hong Kong airport. And this is the logistic part in Dongguan. Okay, so with this idea, we make use of the advanced technology. We have a closed loop cargo operation, and make the flow more efficient and sustainable as well. Because instead of by truck for every container, we can in one go we take 36 containers. So more environmental friendly here as well. Okay, final slide. This is our vision of a Hong Kong International Airport. We try to make Hong Kong Airport as a regional a hub to integrate the surrounding place to enhance smart mobility and automation, to promote sustainability, growth, innovation. Finally, we have a vision to still keep Hong Kong Airport as an international hub, to make use of our existing technology, for example, autonomous vehicle, digital service, and logistic model, and to lead the global aviation. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chen. Please be seated. And now, here comes our final panel discussion. As a kind reminder, online participants are welcome to use the Q&A box if you have any questions for our speakers. And for the audience in this room, you may raise your hands and we'll pass you the mic. Now, please welcome our moderator, Ms. Suki Han, Assistant Manager of Policy and Research of BEC. Let's also invite our other panelists to join us on stage. First, we have Mr. Collin Chen. And following, we have Ms. Li Fan, ESG Manager, COSCO Shipping Ports Limited. Mr. Craig Tuckerman, VP Global Business Development, OMS and OCM, DHL Global Forwarding. And last but not least, Mr. Boyong Wang, China Director, Smart Freight Center, who will be joining us online. And I will now pass you the time, Suki.
Thanks, everyone. And then also want to thank for all our panelists, as well as Boyong joining us online. And then we have a very diverse panel. So let me introduce our panelists first. So we just heard from Collin about all the digital transformation and all the technologies has been implemented in the infrastructure. And then we also have Craig from DHL. And then he has, I don't know, like 15, how many years experience you have in terms of, business development, as well as, supply chain management, and then sustainability across the world, in Asia, Europe, and the Americas. And then we also have Ms. Li Fan, and then she is from COSCO Shipping Ports. So she also is very experienced ESG strategy professional, and she's also been working to develop the corporate sustainability strategy, as well as setting up net zero targets, and then enhancing the corporate governance at the COSCO Shipping Ports (CSP). And lastly, we'll also have Boyong joining us online. So he is the China Director for Smart Freight Center. So he is, putting all his effort into the zero emission logistics. And then also he has been working on the global logistic decarbonization, and then all the Smart Freight Shipper Alliance in China. So today we're gonna have a very diverse and interesting discussion about, how to have a green and then smart transition in the global connectivity along the Belt and Road. So to start off, I wanted to first talk about decarbonization, the needs, and I wanted to hear from our panelists about the question of why along transport, along the supply chain, along Belt and Road. So my first question is to Lee. I know you work on set up the net zero targets for your company, and then at the same time, we see that net zero is very costly. You need to invest a lot. And at the same time, as a company, you also want to make sure your shareholders are happy, right? So how do you make the balance for, the decarbonization cost and investment, as well as, the shareholder expectations? Do you have any example of any ESG initiative that you have developed that can achieve, environmental, social, and then financial objectives?
Thank you, Suki and BEC, for having me today. For those who might not be familiar with us, please allow me to briefly introduce COSCO Shipping Ports, CSP, and highlight the role of the shipping industry in the global decarbonization efforts. So CSP is a leading port logistics service provider. We operate and manage 40 ports worldwide with an annual handling capacity approximately 133 million TEUs. Now, more than 80% of the global trade is transported by sea, making maritime shipping the backbone of the global economy. Similar to aviation industry, the shipping industry accounts for about 3% of the global CO2 emission, and the majority of these emissions result from burning marine fuels during voyages, while ports emission account for a much smaller portion. So back to your question, Suki. At CSP, we view decarbonization as a strategic imperative for long-term value creation and a driver for competitive advantage. So we focus on 3 interconnected pillars: enhancing operational efficiency to reduce cost, unlocking new revenue and competitive advantage, and future-proofing through climate resiliency. So CSP is strategically enhancing cost efficiency by building green and smart ports. A core initiative is to large-scale electrification of cargo handling equipment. We have already electrified 97% of gantry cranes at our Chinese subsidiaries, and our smart electric container vehicles slash energy consumptions by 25% compared to the traditional fuel-powered vehicles. Furthermore, we are pioneering the use of hydrogen-powered container vehicles. So to ensure the electricity is clean, we are scaling up renewable energy, achieving 12 megawatts of installed capacity and saves approximately 5,200 CO2 emissions annually. This initiative cuts both our operational cost and our carbon footprint. And by integrating advanced technologies such as digital twin, we have further optimized energy efficiency, leading to significant operational savings. And secondly, we have witnessed tremendous opportunities arising from the low-carbon transition, particularly in the growing demand for transporting a diverse range of cargo types, such as electric vehicles, PV solar panels, and energy storage cabinets. Simultaneously, we are meeting the evolving demands of our key stakeholders. Customers with ambitious Scope 3 targets are increasingly evaluating our ESG performance, while investors are showing strong confidence in our forward-looking decarbonization roadmap. So a robust ESG proposition is no longer optional. It is a key to capitalize on this new market demand and securing investment for future growth. Our approach to Scope 3 emission exemplifies turning a challenge into a competitive advantage. Analysts revealed that our value chain emissions are 3 times more than our own direct operations. So with approximately 60% originating from vessels burning fossil fuels at birth, we turn this insight into a business solution. providing shore power at all our Chinese subsidiaries, and offering biofuels at our PCT terminal in Greece. This directly helps our customer to cut their emissions while creating a new valuable service for us. In this way, we transform a shared environmental problem into a clear commercial opportunity. And finally, we built climate resiliency to protect our assets and ensure long-term operational integrity. We recognize that physical risks of climate change, like flooding and typhoons, pose a direct threat to our operations. Through our TCFD assessment, we have proactively implemented adaptation measures, such as installing weather stations and floodgates, as well as improving drainage systems. These approaches safeguard our physical assets, ensure business continuity, and instills investor confidence in our ability to avoid stranded assets. This comprehensive strategy turns sustainability into means of risk reduction and a driver for profitability and competitive advantage, while ensuring that we meet stakeholders' expectations for both sustainability and financial performance, today and in the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Lee. That's very, comprehensive, framework. I think you and your team has developed for CSP. And when we talk about stakeholders, in addition to shareholders, customers, on the other hand, are also important. And then I want to ask you, Craig, also about the cost for decarbonization. So what do you see? Do you think customers interested or willing to share the costs? And then, for logistics, speed is always, the first thing we think about, right? They even come up the brand name Express, right? You want to be fast. So right now, do you think other than fast, than speed, do you see sustainability and then the resilience also are becoming like important values or important assets in terms of your company's strategy?
Yeah, thanks, Suki. So I think Lee mentioned, sustainability being a competitive advantage, and the way we see the logistics and supply chain industry developing, that is definitely true. So to answer the first question, do we see that customers are willing to pay for sustainable aviation fuel, sustainable marine fuel? Are they willing to pay? It's a complex picture, but the answer is yes. So we have seen through our customer satisfaction survey and our own experience that in the last year, the number of customers that we have that are using biofuels or our sustainability products, our Go Green products, has doubled. So the number of customers that are interested is certainly there, and we see continued growth in this space. It's very important for our customers. The legislative landscape is changing, and it's becoming an imperative for their customers as well. So we see, in competitive tenders that it's a mandatory requirement to have sustainability products. So electric vehicles and biofuels, whether it's SAF, SMF. So this is very important. In terms of sustainability and resilience, sustainability and ESG is a resilient strategy. I think we see, and Lee mentioned this already in what COSCO are doing as well. Climate change is real. Things are happening around the world, and we've seen disruption over the past 5 years in the logistics and supply chain space. That is only going to continue on a climate in the climate sphere. So having a sustainability strategy, an effective sustainability strategy, is a resilient strategy as well.
Yeah, thanks, Craig, for talking about the resilience strategy. And then also for logistics sector, when you have a strategy, it's usually go beyond one market, one region, right? You would do a lot of, international trade and then logistics among different countries, different regions, and then also especially when we talk about Belt and Road, it's connecting different countries and different markets, different ports. So in that case, that means we need a level playing field for this type of strategy. And I want to ask Boyong online. Because for this, I wanted to ask you, so how we can have different shippers, logistic providers, and then the different carriers, to work together. I know. So the Smart Freight Center, you have the Global Logistics Emission Council framework that you have developed. Can you tell us a bit more about that? And then, so how does it, can enable companies or the logistics, stakeholders to report their emissions from their logistics operations? And then how this type of global standards can, evolve to help companies to make, to prove the green premium right now is, real, and then is able to verify.
Yeah, thank you, Suki, for inviting me. For those of you who actually don't know Smart Freight Center, we're an international NGO. We actually founded in 2013, so it's almost 12 years now. But when we found Smart Freight Center, I was one of the founders, and we identified one of the big challenge in the logistics sector is there's inconsistent emission tracking. It is important because we need to find a critical, it's critical to find a harmonized way to calculate, report, and verify logistic emissions. So this is actually essential for companies to establish the baseline, because we're all talking about by 2050, we want to go net zero. So we need to know where we are now. And also we need to use some tool to set up the science-based target. And also we want to know, how are we going to get there? That's essentially meaning we need to track progress from zero emission solutions. So at the very beginning, we were basically gathering multinational companies like Craig is there, DHL, DB Schenker, etc. We compare notes. Basically, how do you calculate the emissions on your road freight, your air freight, or rail, etc. So let's find a harmonized way to calculate and report. And that we call the Global Logistic Emission Council. And then the framework itself, which also is a solution, is the first globally recognized methodology for calculating logistic emissions. This GLAC framework, which you mentioned, is actually formed the basis for the international standard ISO 14083. So it's essentially start with big companies, compare notes, build up a common methodology, and then we actually develop that into a harmonized international standard, which is ISO 14083. It remains, well, GLAC, it remains the primary industry guideline for implementing the ISO standard. It is aligned with major protocols like the GHG protocol, the Global Green Freight Action Plan, the CDP reporting, etc. So as a platform, GLAC program is the place where companies and NGOs collaborate to drive widespread, transparent, and consistent calculation and reporting of GHG emissions. It is important as companies adopting zero emission solutions. For example, we're talking a lot about sustainable aviation fuel, electric vehicles. A single recognized framework is very critical to calculate, report, and verify the emission accurately. And secondly, we need to recognize and reward corporate climate actions based on verified environment attributes. And we also want to ensure these efforts are trusted and recognized by all stakeholders. So therefore, using the GLAC framework and the ISO standard as the global ruler ensure credibility and accelerate collective progress towards the Paris Climate Agreement goals. I'll finish here. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Boyong. And I think what you mentioned is really important, for logistics, because it's globally connected. Everybody needs to be on the same page, and then having the same standards, and then moving to the right direction, so that everybody can, go faster, and then work, together along the same direction. And I think from the discussions, hearing from you guys, I think we right now understand the urgency and then the why. And now we also need to know the next step is how, right? How we do it. And then since our session, we wanted to look at both how green and smart can be interfaced in this in the green transport in this transition. So I wanted to move back to Lee. I know Hong Kong is an international hub. Just as a name, Hong Kong Gang is a port, and then so we often right now we heard a lot about smart port. So can you explain to us what's the definition of smart port, and then also how do you do that in practice, and then for digitalization, and then specifically, how do you actually implement that in your optimizations, in your options, for the very complex operations you guys do at the ports?
Yeah, thank you, Suki. So for us, a smart port is a connected, intelligent, self-optimization logistic port hub where advanced technologies and data analytics are leveraged to unlock new levels of operational efficiency and environmental performance. In essence, the smart infrastructure is the critical enabler that makes our green ambitions operationally and financially viable. So for CSP, we have set a target for carbon neutrality by 2050 with an interim goal of reducing 55% of our own operations GHG emission intensity by 2035. So at the heart of our decarbonization strategy is a simple principle. The greenest unit of energy is the one never used. This is where digitalization becomes critical. By leveraging automation and data analytics, we optimize our operations to fundamentally reduce energy demand, turning efficiency into our primary source of energy reduction. So a primary example is our digital twin integrated energy management platform, designed to enhance energy efficiency and reduce carbon emissions. This platform utilizes real-time energy consumption data and facilitates seamlessly interactions of port data, creating a 3D visual, analyzable, and quantifiable global port energy management tool. This platform features a carbon footprint heat map that transforms energy consumption data into a visual analytical resource. For example, if higher energy consumption is noted during the outbound journeys, while return trips consume less, operators can optimize scheduling strategies to maximize energy efficiency and improve energy utilization. The system also tracks historical energy consumption across terminals, assisting relevant departments in reviewing operation and enhancing energy efficiency. So at our CSP Wuhan terminal, this platform piloted a 70% reduction in energy consumption per TEU for large machinery, proving the digital intelligence directly drive down both costs and emissions. So automation and digitalization proactively enhance safety by redefining traditional port roles. Smart autonomous container vehicles eliminate the needs for physically demanding outdoor jobs, reducing exposure to potential incidents and extreme weather conditions, and also creates more comfortable, controlled indoor roles. This shift also has the potential to attract more female workers, making the maritime industry more accessible and inclusive.
Right, thanks, Lee. And I think other than ports, at the same time, airports also sometimes, do, something very similar because you have a lot of traffic and then you have a lot of, operations going on, and then different operators and then different parties get involved in that process. And Collin, so you just had a presentation, and on that I saw you had a slide about the cargo handling. So could you explain more about how that actually works? How the cargo handling can ease or smooth out the operations process with the business partner or the operators in the airport.
Hello, thank you, Suki. I think we have to understand our logistic partners' lead and then their pain point. I think logistic partner is important. Is time, cost, and their constraint. Time, of course, logistic have to be transferring their cargo cargo or stuff very efficient. Grace here. Cost, they are business. They are doing business, so the cost has to be sustainable. And constraint. If their business is in the airport, we have a limited land because the Hong Kong airport in Hong Kong is limited, is small. So we have to, as a airport owner, Hong Kong Airport Authority, have to understand their lead, discuss with them, and facilitate them to overcome the current limitation. For example, I think the important is the land. They have limited land, so we have to using technology to help them to convey their stuff easily and without obstructing them to go overseas or transfer to regional market. One thing. The second thing is recently we did a cargo digital platform. We share the information with all our logistic partner. Information sharing, digitalization is very important. Before that, they are doing their own business, individual business by their own. Now, we develop this overall digital platform among all the business partners in the airport, so they can share real-time information with different partners. For example, which airline, which flight come if they are delayed, so everybody know what time they will come, so they can easily plan for their ship, their cargo, how to allocate the location, so that can facilitate them to shorten their delivery time, and as well as to have a mutual communication with the airport authority to facilitate their flight, to use the runway. So information sharing, digitalization, and infrastructure to help them to overcome the limitation. I think that is important.
Yeah, that's right. Data and information sharing is very important, and then data sounds like it's actually the fuel for the digitalization, for all the smart technology in this whole process. So I want to ask both Boyong and Craig. In terms of data, I know there's some collaboration between the Smart Freight Center as well with DHL. So how can you tell us about what's your initiative, and then how do you ensure that the data is shared accurately and then securely, and then can improve the efficiency at the same time, reduce emissions, and then to enable this transformation? So maybe I'll let the Boyong start first.
Well, thank you. Well, for the challenge, over 100 multinationals use the GLEC framework to calculate this multimodal logistic emissions. However, in 2021, only 23% report them publicly, primarily due to a critical data accessibility gap. The root cause for this one is the carriers often lack the resource and interconnected IT system to track and share reliable data. And there's also industry barrier because there's a lack of interoperability that impedes automatic data exchange. For this solution, for the way to move ahead, is we need a common neutral data exchange model to facilitate seamless data sharing across the supply chain. SC in this regard, together of course with 200 multinational shippers and LSPs and carriers, DHL is one of them, to drive the sector-wide change because we want to accelerate the reduction of logistic emissions by fostering global collaboration. So as a method, we leverage industry data to identify, validate, and scale real-world solutions. For example, zero-emission trucking and shipping corridors, modal shift project from truck to rail or barge, etc. So I think the answer, to discuss how we're going to move ahead, requires a concrete effort with the shippers as the key driver of demand. The essential elements, meaning there should be a joint procurement, supportive policies, infrastructure investment, and real-world deployment to provide technology viability. As a critical actions, leading shippers must build trust, use harmonized guidelines to share data, and aggregate demand for zero-emission services. As outcome, and this is actually important, this will send a powerful, unified signal to fleets, manufacturers, policymakers, and investors to accelerate the sector's transition to a zero-emission future. I'll stop here.
Yeah, thanks. I'll just follow up on what Boyong was saying there. So, and I think Collin also mentioned it. The key messages are the measurement of data, so, and then being able to share that data on neutral platforms or common registry. So Collin mentioned what the airport authority has done. You know, that's really promoting and giving us the ability to scale and then actually make a difference. They've brought together the different stakeholders and then are scaling that difference. And SFC, from the beginning, have been doing that by developing that GLEC framework, by bringing together all those multinationals. So I think the progress that's being made in globally for us to scale through the efforts of enterprises like SFC, and through the efforts, you know, what Lee mentioned about the port and Collin at the airport, this is where the sharing and the technology is already there. I think the technology is there. We just need to get better at leveraging data networks, sharing, using a common registry. The technology, the APIs, the blockchain is existing. Once we start to share on a registry, that's where you're able to then scale and make a difference. So an example I'll use is the book and claim for SAF. So being able to use a common registry that is can be audited and is a central registry, so that the providers of the fuels can then book the fuel there, and then it's really connecting those companies that want to make a difference, right, globally. Because if we develop specific corridors only, then the scalability will be limited. I think providing the ability for everyone to get involved, and we then accelerate efforts to mitigate these climate issues. You provide the ability for the people who want to access airlines or airports who are making a difference. We need to connect those customers to those people.
Yeah, I think that's very important, and also I think Hong Kong right now is working hard to build up all the infrastructure, the platforms, and the solutions to make that possible for all the different stakeholders and different companies. And let's zoom back into Hong Kong. So when we talk about transport, when we talk about global connectivity, we connect goods, we connect economic value. At the same time, we will also look at the economic development, the local communities, and then the people. Connect the people, and then so since we're talking about Belt and Road, and we also wanted to look at what role Hong Kong can play in that process, and then how to make sure that the Hong Kong can facilitate or make this great this green transition or this smart transition, to have to ensure the local development, ensure we have jobs for the local community, and then the economic development for a shared values. So what's Hong Kong's specific role that Hong Kong can play in that regard? So I wanted to hear from all of you what would be your thought. So I'll start from Lee.
Okay. Yeah, actually, I would like to share a transformative example of CSP's commitment along the Belt and Road Initiative, the development of the port of Chiang-Kai in Peru. This deep water megaport commenced operations in November last year. Is more than just an infrastructure. It is a benchmark for sustainable and inclusive growth that is reshaping the regional trade and delivering tangible values. So the new Chiang-Kai to Shanghai service route has fundamentally improved the trade connectivity by slashing transit time from 35 days to 23 days, a 30% reduction, and has simultaneously cut logistic cost by 20%. So this efficiency is a game changer for South America exports, ensuring the reliable and competitive flow of Peruvian agricultural goods, like my favorite blueberries and avocados, as well as vital minerals to the global markets. I would like to reflect on this trade route for three key aspects: economic, environmental, and social. So from the economic perspective, in the first half of 2025, the total volume of imports and exports between Shanghai and Peru surged by 34.9% year on year. In this first 9 months of operation, the port of Chiang-Kai recorded $600 million in export trade. This vibrant trade corridor facilitating exports of EV and machineries from China, fostering true economic integration, and positions Peru as a pivotal hub in the Asia-Latin America land sea corridor. In terms of environment, the port of Chiang-Kai was conceived as South America's first green and smart port from the ground up. Our environmental commitment is embedded in its operations. All major port equipment is electrified, powered by 100% renewable energy from nearby hydropower plants. The port is integrated with our digital twin energy platform to ensure intelligent, real-time optimization of energy use. We are actively committed to conserving the local Santa Rosa wetland, participating in the environmental monitoring and organizing community education programs. During an oil spill incident by other vessels in 2022, our team mobilized quickly to aid in cleanup and rescue endangered Peruvian species, penguin. And socially, we believe that the port's success is strongly linked to the prosperity of its community. During construction and operation phase, 8,000 jobs were created. We are actively expanding career development opportunity for women and providing skill training programs for local youth. We collaborated with local governments on essential infrastructure projects, conducting feasibility studies for a wastewater treatment plant, an emergency response system, and a health center. We have also assisted in constructing the Chiang-Kai Sports Center and a wholesale market to support the local SMEs. We also conduct annual medical outreach, serving approximately 2,500 households and support for local tourism through the development of an outdoor museum and art district. So the Port of Shanghai demonstrates that modern infrastructure development can and should be a force for shared prosperity. By aligning our business goals with sustainable development, transparent governance, and deep community partnership, we are not only building ports, we are fostering the long-term well-being of the communities we serve. Now back to Hong Kong. Hong Kong is taking decisive steps to solidify its role as Asia's sustainable maritime center. Following the government's Asian action plan on green maritime fuel bunkering, the city has successfully completed its first delivery of B30 marine gasoline and LNG bunkering early this year, making major milestones in its journey to become a regional green bunkering hub. This means implementation policies and programs to upskill the local workforce, transitioning roles from manual cargo handling to digital fleet management, from servicing fossil fuel equipment to maintaining electric and AI-driven systems, and building specialized expertise in near-zero fuels. By embracing this comprehensive approach, Hong Kong is perfectly positioned to strengthen its role as a premier green hub and a super connector between the East and the West, leading the future of sustainable maritime trade.
Yeah, thanks, Lee. And then also wanted to, although we have limited time, I also wanted to hear from other panelists. Can share quickly about your thoughts.
Okay. I share the experience of Hong Kong airport. I think Belt and Road, my understanding, I think we should do it is not just doing business with the Belt and Road countries. We should be able to, this morning, a lot of people mentioned about partnership, about human-centric. I think that's important. Hong Kong Airport now is doing in this direction as well. We hope to doing partnership with those Belt and Road country. We train them, train the people there. Hong Kong Airport now have the academy. We recruit a lot of, the different people from those Belt and Road countries to come to Hong Kong to train them how to manage airport, share our technology, know-how, experience to them, let them to go back to their own country to develop. And also we have an airport consultancy. The consultants that we follow the mainland teams to go out to Belt and Road country to give as an advisor to them to develop their airport. Just now I mentioned about autonomous vehicle technology, about automated car park technology. Recently we also developed waste to hydrogen technology. We share our know-how experience as an advisor to them. So not just doing business, we try to as an advisor.
Craig, do you have any quick thoughts?
So I have two comments on that really. So the first is, Hong Kong is a key strategic location. We have the largest cargo airport in the world. Our port is a world-class facility. Our ports, we can position Hong Kong as a green logistics hub, and that should be the ambition. And we have China behind us to support that. And we have, the financial capabilities here for green financing. We have an advantage here, and we should leverage that. The second one is really about talent and jobs. So, I'd encourage the academy that Collin just mentioned. I'd encourage companies to approach our universities, help develop our young people, because we have there's a lot of talent in this city, and we should be fostering that and creating jobs. I think sustainability and green logistics is going to create jobs, and I think that's an opportunity for Hong Kong.
Great. And then how about you, Boyong?
Well, Hong Kong is quite uniquely positioned to act as the brain and central nervous system for the Belt and Road initiative. It can provide intellectual and financial capital to ensure they're sustainable, efficient, and inclusive. And I see actually there's couple of roles that Hong Kong can play. It can act as a green financial and risk hub for mobilize the global capital through its leading green finance market, and it can develop innovative financial and insurance products through its robust legal and financial institutions to hedge against political and environmental risk. The second role is more providing integrated professional service. So this would be serve as a one-stop shop, assembling experts to deliver the legal, engineering, standard certification advisory. The third role I see Hong Kong can play is the gateway for technology and knowledge as a super connector facilitating the transfer of Chinese green technologies to BRI markets, packaged with necessary financing, legal structure, and local training. Last but not least, is providing standardization and best practice because it can leverage the international credibility and to promote a common BRI green supply chain standard. In conclusion, well, the others build the physical infrastructure. Hong Kong can build the essential intangible infrastructure, the financial models, legal frameworks, and management system. It is transitioning from a trade port to the indispensable quality assurance and value-added hub for the Belt and the Road, ensuring green and smart transformation deliver tangible, sustainable development. So that's definitely Hong Kong has a bright future. I'll stop here.
Thank you, Boyong. And given time limitation, I just want to quickly summarize and then wrap up here. So it's great to hear from our 4 panelists to share about their insights on why we need to decarbonize and then transform this the supply chain and then the global connectivity, and at the same time, how we can use new technology, digital transformation, data, and then the new platforms to make sure that is accurately and then securely, connectively along using the same global standards. And also, last but not least, how we can make sure the different stakeholders along this green supply chain, along this green Belt and Road route can enable the economic development, the talent development, to enable the society for along the route, along different region, for better growth and a better perspective. And then, so here I wanted to thank our panelists for their insights and then sharing. And then I want to thank all our attendees for your listening. And then also, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for your comprehensive sharing. And would you please come forward to the stage for a group photo? Please give them a big round of applause for their insightful discussion. We have certainly learned a great deal today. Thank you, and please be seated.